We're here at the Toronto International Auto Show. We're heading up in to check out all these cool exhibits. We know that Tesla's here, we know Rivian's here, and we're gonna see what Legacy Auto has going on to see if they've woken up to electrification. So let's get into it. Guys, here's the brand new Rolls-Royce Spectre all-electric. This is the first electric vehicle from Rolls-Royce, and it's truly what it was meant to be. Big power and ultra-refined luxury builds the essence of this beautiful Grand Touring automobile. So here we are at the Remetz Nevada booth. Check out the charger they're using. Rocket EV for their level 2 charger right beside the electric Rolls-Royce Spectre. Over here we have the Bugatti Chiron. Beautiful, beautiful car, well over 1,000 horsepower. Well, you know that I'm all about electric, but I gotta tell you, I love a good retro car. And here we have the brand new Lamborghini Countach here. What a beautiful car. It's got that retro look, an absolutely beautiful classic, the quintessential Raging Bull. Love it. Wow, check this place out here. Look at this. Big indoor test track. Of course, being electric vehicles, we don't have to worry about getting everybody gassed out here. Oh, look at this, cool, it's a Muskoka chair made out of exhaust. Hey, yo, how long have you been making this Lexus? This seems like this was here 12 years ago.
To battery management. Even better, just like your smartphone or laptop, the EX90 is designed to improve over time. This is thanks to over-the-air updates. In other words, your Volvo EX90 won't just be a new car, it'll be a highly advanced computer on wheels. Today, we're excited to announce pricing for the EX90 in Canada. We will offer a well-equipped version starting at $110,000. We're thrilled to bring the EX90 to Canada and bring our purpose to life.
All right, guys, here we are at the brand new Volvo, fully electric EX90. Let's have a look. Are we allowed to walk on this surface here? No? Uh-oh. Beautiful. So this is it. This is the EX90. Wow. All right, just set it down. Let's go. All right, guys, look what I found here. The beautiful Bugatti electric scooter. This is the only electric vehicle that Bugatti currently produces. Andrew Tate has a couple of these, I think. He's very impressed by them.
This is a Bugatti, right?
Bugatti scooter.
Are you going to pretend we don't need these? And it's fast?
Up to 18.6 miles an hour.
Don't buy another Bugatti. See?
I'm not sure if we are. No, it's pretty cool. Very nice leather grips, nice digital display up here, and I'm sure it's pretty quick. All right, guys, here we are with the Kia EV9. Now, this is the first time I'm getting an up-close look at the vehicle here, but let's just take a look inside and we'll get first impressions, both of us together. So I'm gonna hop in here. Let's see. All right, so we got a nice kind of screen that's going across here. It's got our climate display here. We've got some apps on the side. We've got our main display here with battery range and speedometer and gear shift and all that sort of thing. Big kind of chunky center console here. I don't know why it's beeping at us, but let's see here. We've got a wireless charging pad, center console, some adjustable buttons here, cubby down the bottom, and it looks like USB power buttons down the bottom there as well. Climate buttons are actual switches right here. And we've got a volume knob as well. So it's a mixture of touchscreen and actual physical buttons. But nice layout overall. It's very similar to the Telluride. I wouldn't doubt that it's built on the same chassis. Take a look in the back here. This is a 3-row SUV. So we'll fold the seat forward and take a look at the back seat there. You can see we've got 7 passenger seating here, which is nice. We'll hop into the back here in just a second, but let me sit in the center row. So I've got the center row seat slid forward. My knees are touching the front seat, which I believe is all the way back. But it's not terrible, you know, for a short distance. It looks like, I feel something power here. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's like a power recline. Okay, that's interesting. Very good. So let's try the back seat. Let's check that out. We're gonna press this button here. Okay, so easy access to the third row, just the press of a button. We'll hop in back here. All right, so headroom is decent. I mean, I'm 6'2", It's not too bad. Again, depending on how we slide the seat back, but I would say my knees would touch. Well, I'll slide over to this side here actually to see what the size is like. Yeah, definitely cramped when you have that center row all the way back. But there is, nice cup holders, speaker, cubby holes, USB-C charging port. And I do like that one button spring-loaded access into the third row. It'll be fine for kids. Nice big back door. Let's take a look at the rear hatch here. So where do we grip it? It's got to be here somewhere. There's the backup camera. Where's our access here? That can't be it. Oh yeah, there is. It must be electronic. So they're not having it open here for the show, but there's a little tiny button here. All right, guys, so we found one here that is unlocked. So let's take a look at the EV9's trunk space. We've got a power rear hatch. Now this one does have the tow package on it, so you can see we've got the Class 2 receiver hitch down the bottom. Nice bit of space in here, actually. It looks like we've got about roughly 18, 20 inches of depth. A little bit of storage underneath here. Great place to throw a set of, charging cables and that sort of thing. And our back seats do fold down. Now we have some buttons over here that allow the center row. Now this is the higher trim level with the captain's chairs, the 6-seater, but we're able to fold those seats down. Both the third row and the second row, we're able to fold them down. Very nice. So we can see the power seats operating there. That's a great feature. Here we are over at the charge port, so we're just going to press these three little pixelated type things here. We have a power charge port, which is very nice. And we've got the old school J1772 and the CCS2 plug here. Of course, Kia has already confirmed that they will be joining Tesla's NACS network very shortly, most likely 2025. So we're going to see this charge port shrink into something much more manageable, so you'll be able to use this vehicle at the Tesla supercharger network. Let's take a look at the front trunk here. So look at this. This is the way you get into the front trunk on this vehicle. So obviously they really don't want you up there, but we pull that cover off, pull a little handle in behind here, and let's go around the front to take a look to see if Kia has done something with the frunk. What have they got going on here? Let's see if there's a release here. Okay, we open it up, and inside we have a very tiny frunk. But again, it could be a place that you want to store perhaps charging cables, a small boxed lunch or something like that. I'm not too sure what Kia had in mind, but there you have it, EV9 frunk situation. Overall, I think this is going to be a good seller for Kia. You know, I've got 4 kids, so I understand what it's like looking for a family-friendly vehicle, especially in a fully electrified setup. And there's just not that many of 6-7 passenger vehicles that are anywhere near affordable. Now, the range estimates on this particular vehicle, the base model is going to give you about 380-ish kilometers of estimated EPA range. But once you get into the top spec, you're well into the 400s, 430, and I believe there's a rear-wheel drive that's like 480, although I don't know how popular that's going to be in Canada or anywhere where you're going to take this thing off-roading. I think you're going to want the all-wheel drive would be my guess on this particular vehicle here. As far as towing, I don't have any specs like that, but I will pop some down into the description and a link to Kia's website. All right, guys, I'm taking us for a spin through the Subaru booth here. Yeah, man, they just don't have anything that is plug-in, although we're going way down the back of the booth here. I mean, Subaru is an interesting brand. I'm not exactly sure what their direction is, but buried way down at the back of the booth here, back by the wall, they have that Toyota partnership vehicle, the Solterra, based off the, I think it's BZ4X or whatever it is from Toyota. Yeah, not too sure exactly where they're headed with vehicles like this for the Subaru brand, but I can tell you they're not very proud of it because they put it right in this back like alleyway here. So I don't know. All right, let's go exploring, people. We got Camp Jeep over here. It's nice they've chosen to use the 4XEs in electric mode so that we don't get gassed out. Too bad there's no Gladiator 4xe. If you check out last year's auto show video, I suggested very pleasantly to Stellantis that a 4xe Gladiator is very low-hanging fruit and something that's long overdue, and yet we still don't have it. All right, guys, we're gonna head into the Stellantis booth. Little blast from the past. I used to sell these things a while ago. Let's see what they got. Let's see what's new with Stellantis. So here we have the 4xe Grand Cherokee. This vehicle, plug-in hybrid. And of course you got the turbo 4-cylinder under the hood, 40-something kilometers of range. We've got the Grand Wagoneer, no plug-in hybrid version, unfortunately. Not sure why, because they obviously have the tech for the Grand Cherokee, but why not for the more expensive Grand Wagoneer? Very strange. Here we have another plug-in hybrid, the Pacifica. Actually, one of the best bang for your buck minivans out there. Personally, I think this is a much better route to go with the plug rather than, you know, the Kia or the Toyota hybrid, because being able to plug it in at home and getting those 40, 50 kilometers for just a few pennies of electricity is far better than having to run your gasoline engine to recharge the battery. Here we have the new Fiat 500e. Way back in the day, 2012, 2013, 2014, I was like the top, one of the top, kind of battled back and forth with a guy in Quebec to the for the spot of top Fiat salesperson in the country. Sold an absolute boatload of 500s, Abarths, 500Ls, 500Xs, but here we have the 500e. We've switched around the door handles. The earlier cars had major problems with the door handle, so it's nice to see they've improved that. And it looks like they've improved the armrest situation as well. The old ones used to attach onto the chair and then used to fall off. So it looks like this one here is part of the console, so it's much more sturdy. Let's hop inside here and see what it feels like. Wow, well, it feels somewhat familiar, although I do miss having the cup holder down here. There used to be a cup holder down here. We've got push button transmission. The ones I used to drive were the old manual right here. Nice little touch screen. Steering wheel feels quite similar, little flat bottom situation here. USB charging ports here, different E modes here, so drive mode configurator right here, volume control and electronic parking brake. But it looks nice. I don't know exactly what they've done with cup holders. There's really no cup holders. We've got this pass-through area, so I'm wondering if there's, okay, so there's a little fold-down cup holder right here for my bottle of water. So that's okay, I guess, and maybe that's a spot for the ladies to put their purse or something like that. But all right, well, the 500e I think is going to be a great little city car, so long as Fiat gets the Tesla NACS charge port in there right away. I mean, if you're thinking about purchasing a 500e, make sure you wait until next year to get that NACS charge port, because you do not want to be stuck with this thing with the small amount of range that it does have without having access to the big, beautiful, reliable Tesla supercharging network. The Ram REV concept, they've brought it back to the auto show here. We already know for a fact that virtually none of the features that are in this concept vehicle are going to make it to production. You see, we've got features in here like the adjustable seating, the suicide doors, the pass-through into the front trunk, the pass-through into the rear trunk there as well, into the bed, the special fold-down side molded-in steps there, the funky steering wheel, and a numerous amount of other features. We do know for a fact that virtually none of these features will make it into production. Can you believe that? Yet they're still showcasing this vehicle here, I guess perhaps to build some brand excitement. But then you have to ask yourself, Stellantis, well, why not just bring this stuff to production? If it's what people want, if it's what gets them excited, let's put it into the actual production Ram. But the one that has been released that is supposed to be the production version basically looks like this truck right over here. This is a new vehicle, but yet it's virtually unchanged from 2018. If you take a look at the front here, you can see they've slightly upgraded the grille or updated the grille or what have you. And essentially what's going to happen when they go with this plug-in electric is very much like the Lightning. They make a few little tweak changes, a little bit different lighting. They're going to add a charge port here on the side, and that's basically the truck we're going to end up with. But is that what customers really want? Here we are with the Dodge Hornet, what I like to call the lifted dart. Now, I worked for Chrysler selling a ton of darts back in the day, and it was very, very rare that we ever made any money on the dart because it was such a high-priced vehicle. See, Dodge thought that they would try and get into the market competing directly with, you know, the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla, the Honda Accord and all that sort of thing. And they brought out this vehicle that was really overpriced for what the brand commanded from the marketplace. And we have the same example here in the Hornet. The Hornet right now is holding the record in North America for the highest amount of days in inventory, meaning that they take the longest to sell of any vehicle right now in all of North America. Here we have the plug-in electric hybrid version. Have a look here. You'll see we have a J1772 charge port. Plugging this vehicle in for a couple of hours is going to give you 40, maybe 50 kilometers of range. However, the curious thing about this vehicle more than anything else, more than, you know, the giant big metal shifter paddles and the suede seats, Alcantara and all that good stuff, the really curious thing about it is the price. The price is actually very similar to its Alfa Romeo counterpart, but again, Alfa Romeo tends to command a higher price point. So that's kind of curious that this is only a couple $1,000s less, but you're not getting the Alfa Romeo name. So that's interesting. But the other even more interesting thing is that if you are going after electrification, saving on gas, saving on maintenance, and looking to save money and all that sort of thing, then why not consider the Tesla Model Y? And the only reason I bring it up is that the Tesla Model Y is a bigger vehicle with more technology, with higher safety features, with more computerization technology, the phone app and all that sort of thing, storage in the front trunk and whatnot, available 7-seat configuration, a bigger, larger vehicle, but yet it's priced at $1,000 less starting price than this vehicle here. So that's interesting that Dodge chose to price this vehicle in that particular segment. So it's very interesting. I'd be very curious to see how this vehicle, this RT plug-in hybrid, pans out for the Dodge brand. Just from my experience, I believe it's going to be another situation just like the Dodge Dart, but only time will tell. All right, guys, so we're just making our way through the auto show. Much smaller show this year than I've experienced in the past. Very telltale signs. This year, no Mercedes, no Mini, no BMW, no Honda, no Acura, no Audi, and no Volkswagen. And the list goes on of all these automakers that are just missing from the auto show this year. Like, they've just given up. They're just like, oh, we're not going to do the auto show. And it's like, well, why are these guys here? Like, don't you want to sell your cars? Like, I guess they don't want to spend the money. Like, are they that hard up? Like, it's not looking very good. I can tell you that. I don't know. Things aren't looking too good for Legacy Automotive. All right, guys, so here we are in the Tesla booth. They finally moved up out of the basement for the first time ever. I've been coming to the auto show here in Toronto for years, and they were always downstairs in the exotic area, and now finally they're up with the kind of the normal mainstream vehicles. And of course that makes sense because on the other side of this giant stainless steel triangle is the Tesla Model Y, which is the #1 selling vehicle on Earth, and it just happens to be electric. The cool thing about that is that just legitimized Tesla as a leading brand globally. So on the end here, we've got the Tesla Model Y, #1 selling vehicle in the world. Now, next guy here is the Model X. That's the Fabergé egg, as Elon calls it. It's got the Falcon doors. It's got some really cool features. It's available in a 5, 6, or 7-seat configuration. Super safe vehicle. It's actually, when it came out, was the safest vehicle they had ever tested, and it still sits in one of the top safest vehicles worldwide. So let's move on to the big beast here. And no, this is not a concept vehicle. This is a production-ready pickup truck. Man, this thing looks like it just drove right out of the future, and in fact it did, because it houses a lot of futuristic technology. Now, underneath this stainless steel bulletproof skin, which, by the way, there's no paint on this vehicle, so there's no choosing your color, there's no, oh, I have a chip at delivery, oh, I have a scratch, anything like that. This is literally, hey, you just get a little SOS pad, some Windex, clean it up, no problem. But the unique thing about this truck that I'm hearing, the big deal, is actually the steering. So this vehicle has 4-wheel steering, but that's not the big news. The big news is that this is the first vehicle ever to have steer-by-wire, meaning that your steering wheel is actually not connected to the wheels at all. So much like an aircraft that steers, by computer control rather than mechanical control. So what happens is you have that steering wheel that gives electrical inputs into the computer. There's a little force feedback in there, a sensor and whatnot that sends a signal to the wheels to tell them how sharp and which way they need to turn. And there's a bunch of redundancies built in there as well. In case anything goes wrong, you have backup number 1, backup number 2, backup number 3. So there's nothing to worry about. If you've flown in an aircraft and you're comfortable with flying in an aircraft, then you should be more than comfortable driving in a Cybertruck. State-of-the-art technology, 48-volt architecture as well. Now, all these other cars here run on 12-volt architecture. You know that little car battery that you got in there that sometimes goes dead in the winter and all that sort of thing, that runs all the lights and all that sort of thing? That is all 12-volt architecture. Now, way back like 1940s, my grandfather, for example, has a 1946 Ford pickup, and it runs on 6-volt architecture. And so at some point, I believe it was perhaps 1950s, they made the switch to 12-volt. Now, we're going to make the switch to 48 volt, and the Cybertruck is the first vehicle to do that, and you're going to start to see more and more vehicles adopt that technology. What that allows you to do is to be able to send more current through thinner wires, which means a huge savings in copper and a huge savings in manufacturing the vehicle as well. So state-of-the-art vehicle. This is a real vehicle that you can actually order and purchase and buy and take home. Unlike a lot of these other concept vehicles that you see that these other automakers are putting on, they're putting on a show, and Tesla's delivering a real product. So it's a big difference from the newcomers. And hey, they're up here with the big boys now, so they're a legitimate brand, and I think we're only going to see them grow from here. So over here we got the Long Range S and the new Model 3, the redesigned refresh. This one here is the dual motor Long Range. And we did a great video on this. I'll put a card up in the corner here. You can check out our video on the new Model 3. Here we are at Fisker, guys. We're here with the new Ocean. This is the Ocean 1, the launch edition of the new Fisker product here. This is a unique vehicle. It's actually built by Magna in Austria for Fisker. Really cool because we're here in Canada, in Toronto, and just north of Toronto is actually Magna's head office. They're based out of Aurora, Ontario. Nav, who's on the camera, that's where he lives. So he's kind of a neighbor to the guys that make this vehicle. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's check out inside here. We got cool Alcantara seating. Again, this is an all-electric vehicle. Rated range is around 579 kilometers, so just under 580. We got a really cool big display screen here. Very, very nice. We've got all kinds of customization. Obviously, we have the rotating screen. We have the power rear hatch, and this has a very cool California mode that allows you to drop all of the windows together. Very, very cool. All electric, no gas, and easy to get in and out of. One of the things I really like about this vehicle is it's stylized beautiful. Very nice metallic paint. We have carbon fiber aero inlays into the 22-inch wheels and the panoramic glass sunroof. Very cool, very fun vehicle. In the front end here, really sharp, aggressive styling. Almost has kind of a, like that Range Rover-ish type look, but really sleeked out and a little bit more futuristic. Coming around back here, really unique rear fascia here on the Ocean with these thin LED lights here. We have another light up here. The Fisker name is displayed on the rear spoiler. And I'll reach down underneath here and open it up. There we go. We get the power rear hatch. And of course, the rear glass is actually power opening on this vehicle, which is very unique. A lot of fun. So you're getting almost that convertible feel, but you're getting the utility of a full a full mid-size SUV, as it were. A little privacy cover here, which is nice, and that is removable. The rear seats do fold down. Underneath here, we've got some additional storage. Great place to throw charging cables and whatever else you might need to. This is also removable if you did have a little bit of a bigger item in there. And then there's another access port here as well, a little more storage, and it looks like an air tire inflator kit there as well. So really cool vehicle. Haven't heard any information as far as towing capability or anything like that, but it is a brand new vehicle to the market, and Fisker is looking to make a dent into the midsize SUV market. Guys, we're heading down the escalator here to see Rivian, but more importantly, we're on the escalator going down, just like Legacy Auto. All right, guys, so here we are downstairs in Auto Exotica. This is the location that Tesla used to be when it was a much smaller company. Well, now they're upstairs with all the big old legacy auto companies, and they've earned their stripes. What can I say? But downstairs here, we have Rivian for the first time ever at the Toronto International Auto Show. It's great to see not only the Rivian R1T, but also the beautiful and capable Rivian R1S. Both of these units here on display are the performance quad motors pushing 835 horsepower. In fact, all of these supercars around you would have a really hard time keeping up with these two trucks off the line. So here we are around the back of the R1T, and Rivian has some material and color choices on display here. Beautiful, the dark slate interior, the light Arctic white, the green pine color here as well. Beautiful setup here. These are corporate vehicles. We notice they've got dealer plates on here, and again, performance units. This is the green on green and the silver on black interior here. Probably some of the most understated vehicles here at the auto show are the Rivian R1T and the Rivian R1S. Most people walking by to come down here and look at these McLarens and Porsches and Ferraris have no idea that these SUVs and trucks sitting here have more horsepower than the majority of these cars here. 835 electric horses push these trucks 0 to 60 into the 3-second range, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Not only that, but huge amounts of storage with the giant front trunk. And then on the Rivian R1T, we have the gear tunnel as well. I'm just so happy to see them here on display here in Toronto. Rivian has just opened its Vaughan service location, which is just a little bit north of Toronto. So it's great to see their presence here. Moving eastward in Canada, we already visited them out in Vancouver, just outside Vancouver in Burnaby, British Columbia. I'll put a link to that video, the card up in the corner right here. But it's great to see them here. Happy to see what RJ and the team are doing with the company, and it's great to see a direct sales model coming to Ontario with another company beyond just Tesla and Lucid. All right, guys, so that's a wrap here at the Canadian International Auto Show. So much change is happening in the industry, right from how you buy the car to what type of car you buy. Are we doing electric, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, all the different things that are happening right now. Huge amount of change in the industry, and it's exciting to see where it's going. I think it's gonna be great for the consumer. The dealers, I don't know. We're gonna see how it works out. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.